So, all about fear and doubt. I'm going to be talking about why it's perfectly normal for these emotions to pop up when we're getting started in our business or doing anything else that's totally new to us, and how to not let it stop us from moving forward. And so, for a lot of you guys might have seen that, yeah, if you pop on, say hello. So I just moved. As you can see, I'm in a new space. I have like no furniture right now, which is okay. A little bit of furniture. I'm sitting on a chair. I have a bed, but everything else I have to buy. So I'm in the process of doing that. But as I was talking last week about it, when it came to making this move, I started really like freaking out about it. And even though like I really liked the new place and I really wanted to move out of my old place because of certain things that were going on, it is nice and bright. Yeah, there's lots of natural lighting, which I missed. And my old place had windows, but it wasn't as light. So this is really nice. Get better lighting. So what happened is when I was about to move, really like the night before, I started like freaking out. I was like, oh my gosh, like what if I made a mistake? What if I don't like this new place? And I mean, I didn't sleep at all. I was really, really experiencing like a lot of fear and doubt around it. And not for any particular good reason, because, you know, nothing happened that would make me think like, oh, this place was bad or I shouldn't be moving out of my old place. But the same thing really happens for us when we're getting started in our business or really starting anything new. And for a lot of people, what happens is this fear and doubt will pop up and they'll take it as a sign as like, I don't have what it takes, or I'm not meant to do this, or, you know, I'm going to fail. What are other people going to think of me? I don't know enough, like all these different things. And it just will stop us in our tracks from moving forward. So, and I know like pretty much everyone, like that's going to come up when you're getting started, especially in a business, because it's totally new to you. So a lot of times what will happen is that people just won't even move forward with things. Of course, I got a call. I forgot to put it on on airplane, so I didn't get calls. So what happens a lot of times, people will take this as a sign that I'm not meant to be doing this. I'm not meant to start this business, or I don't have what it takes, and just don't move forward with it. And what I want to show you, or really like help you see, is that it isn't a sign that we're not meant to be starting a business. Really what this is, like this fear and this doubt that comes up, is really, it's a sign that we're doing something new, something that we don't know maybe how to do, or that we haven't done before. And it's totally normal for us to feel fear and doubt when we're doing something new. So to not have that stop you is really, really the key. And the reason why we're going to feel this fear and doubt is because, hey, Eliza, is because our brain always wants us to stay the same. So our brain sees staying the same as being safe and as, you know, being alive. And that's always like our brain's functioning. It's always like, okay, let's keep you the same because you know where you are right now, that you're alive and you're functioning and you're safe. And so anytime we're going to do something new, it's totally normal that our brain is going to start firing these messages of like, oh my gosh, you know, don't do this. You're maybe making a mistake. Maybe you don't have what it takes. Like your brain is just going to start firing off those messages because it wants you to stay the same. It wants you to stay where you're at right now. And this is really just like a protection mechanism, and it goes back to like, you know, caveman days, like, you know, when our brain was functioning just like always wanting us to be doing the same thing, because that's really like how our brain functions. It wants to just run on autopilot all the time. And the problem is that as humans, like we're not meant to just run on autopilot all the time. Like if we do, you know, we never grow, we never expand, we never try new things, and really we just live like a kind of small confined life. And I say kind of like almost building a cage for yourself where you're not allowing yourself to ever try new things or to expand beyond what you already know. And so if we always go with like kind of the functioning of the brain and these fear messages that pop up, we're just going to keep living the same life or the same experiences over and over and over again. And if you love everything about your life and like, you know, you're perfectly fine with everything that's going on, like, I guess that's okay. But at the same time, like I still, even if you do love your life, like as human beings, like we're always meant to be expanding and growing and doing new things. And if we don't, we end up getting bored and feeling unfulfilled. So every time that we're doing something new, we're going to face these fears and these doubts every time we step into a new level. You know, like even for me, like I've had my business, you know, it's been started, you know, I've had it for like 4 years about, and so it's not something new to me, like, but I keep doing new things in my business and keep trying new things, keep going to the next level. Like, you know, I always want to be helping more people and, of course, like making more money, like all that stuff, like it's all about growth and expansion and seeing what I can do. And so each time, like I try to take things to the next level or do something new, I experience that fear and that doubt. And the thing is, what could happen is I could experience that and be like, hey, Katerina, I could be like, oh my gosh, like I can't do this. Like, what if it doesn't work? What if people don't like it? What if people don't get results? You know, all these different things, and it could just stop me from doing it. But I've come to learn that it's just normal to experience these things, these feelings, and that it's just because I'm doing something new and I'm doing something that I haven't done before, and it's okay. So that's the biggest thing, like to let it be okay when we are experiencing these fears and doubts. And so I wanted to give you guys just like some tips that I have found helpful when these things pop up. And I think this is really important so that we can move forward in our business and in our life and try new things and not keep ourselves in this little cage or this box where we just keep living like the same experience over and over and over and over again. Because if we let our fears and our doubts dictate our life, that's what's going to happen. We're just going to be on this like autopilot of experiencing the same thing over and over and over and over again. So some tips for not doing that. If you're on, say hello. Hold on, I need to just move this out of the way. There we go. So what can you do? So number one, just recognizing that fear and doubt is normal every time you're starting something new, and not judging it. So a lot of times, like we have fear and doubt will pop up and we'll be like, oh my gosh, like this fear and doubt means something is wrong with me. It means I don't have what it takes. This fear is bad. It's, you know, and we try to like push it away and run away from it. Or we get into even like self-sabotaging behaviors. Like I know for me, like I have a long history with emotional eating, or you know, for some of us it can be like drinking or surfing social media, like mindlessly doing that. So these are some of the things, like they're self-sabotaging behaviors, but why they're popping up is because we're feeling these feelings, like the fear and the doubt, that's uncomfortable for us, and we're like, oh, I don't like this feeling, it's bad, it's negative, and we try to push it away, or we try to numb it some way, which is where these like addictive behaviors can come in, because we're trying to numb these things. Or so either like those addictive behaviors will pop up, or we'll just be like, oh, I'm experiencing fear and doubt, that means that this is wrong, or I shouldn't be doing this. And really it's normal for that to be coming up because you're doing something new. So Debbie, let me see what you're saying. So Debbie is saying, yeah, the biggest fear is financial stability and being able to provide for your family. And you live in a small town, so you worry that people will be skeptical in your business. So Debbie, who do you worry will be skeptical? Like other people in your town, or so the thing about financial stability is that I always tell this to people, like you can start your business while you're working another job, and then make the leap to doing your business full time. And so that you don't have to worry about, like, then it kind of becomes a non-issue, right? Like you can make that leap when you feel ready. You don't have to be like, I'm starting my business, it has to work right now, or I'm not gonna be able to pay my bills. Like I always recommend not putting yourself in that position, because otherwise it's really stressful and you end up really doing everything from a place of like desperation as opposed to, I would say, inspiration. Or so if you start your business and you don't have that like immediate financial pressure, I think it's really, really helpful as far as getting started. And that's what I did in my business too. Like I was working another job while I started my business, and I started on the side. And then as my business started to grow, I started doing it full time. So when it comes to financial stability, like that's what I would say. And I'd say the other thing is getting some really good systems in place that you know are reliable and can be bringing you clients really consistently. And so you're not limited to where you live. If you want to do online marketing, really you can be marketing to anyone, anywhere in the whole world, which, you know, is a lot more opportunity there. And that's a lot of times what I teach people is, yes, you can do marketing in your town and locally, but there's a lot of opportunity online too. So Elizabeth, let me see what you're saying. Yeah, always running away from your feelings of being scared. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, I like my place. It has so much character, like so much storage. You can probably see behind me. Like, I love it. It's like old, like a lot of the houses in this area are older, but I love it. So it's really nice. It'll be even nicer when I get some more furniture. So, but yeah, it's about not running away from that fear and being able to, like face it and move through it. You know, we don't need to push it away, but we can move through it and not have it stop us. Okay. So number one, recognizing that fear is normal, not judging it, not trying to run away from it, not letting it, you know, stop you, but just being like, okay, I'm feeling fear, you know, I'm feeling doubt. That's okay. It's okay. Like it's not bad. And I'm not going to let it stop me. So the other thing I would say is to let go of knowing how everything is going to work out. So when we start a business or we're doing anything new, we don't know how everything is going to work out, right? Like we can't see the whole long path. So it's really about taking one step at a time. And as we take one step, then we can see like further down the path. And then we're like, oh, you know, that's the next step I need to take. So obviously it can be incredibly helpful to get support and mentoring so you know what steps to be taking so you don't make as many detours along the way. But really, like it's really, you have to take things one step at a time. Hey, Allie. And if you tell yourself like, I need to see the whole path before I can get started, you'll never get started, because it really, like when we start in our business, like it's one step at a time. And we take one step and then you can see further down the path and you're like, oh, now that's the next step. And when we try to see like the whole thing at once, or we insist on knowing how the whole thing is going to work out when we get started with anything, like, you know, you're never going to move forward. And same thing like with moving into a new place. If I needed to know like everything about the new place, and you know, I would have never moved, because you never know your neighbors, you never know, like there's so many different things. So sometimes you just gotta take the leap and do it. And then if we find out we're going in the wrong direction, or we don't like it, or it's not the right fit, we can always make another decision and change directions. So, okay, next up, reconnect with your why. So we always have a why of starting our business, right? And a lot of times I like to say 2 whys. Which is, there's like crazy birds outside. So 2 whys. So the why of your personal why of like, why do I want to start my business as far as how it's going to impact my life? And then your bigger why of how you're going to impact your clients' lives or the people that you're helping. So really connecting in with that, because that is going to, when you go back to that, you're going to be like, oh, like that's why it's worth me facing these fears and these doubts, because I'm really want to do these things. I really want to help other people in this way, and I really want to improve my own life in this way, or maybe step into my purpose and do my calling. So reconnecting with that, it's really important. Like reconnect with that every day, because I think it's really important to remind yourself, because otherwise it's very easy to just be like, it's hard, the fear and the doubt, I don't want to face it, I'm not going to do it. But when you reconnect with your why, then you're like, yeah, this is why I'm doing it. So then, okay, this is a big one. Focus on what you do want to create. So a lot of times when we're moving forward and doing something new, we get caught up in the, what if this happens? What if that happens? And we go into like all the worst case scenarios. Like, what if nobody likes my stuff? What if nobody signs up to work with me? What if I don't make the money? What if I fail? Blah, blah, blah. Like you can go on forever. And so for a lot of us, like that's the way our brain automatically goes. As I was talking before, like your brain always wants to go into the fear and the doubt and stop you from making changes. But instead, what we want to do is refocus on the positive of what it is that we actually do want to create. So instead of going, what if this bad thing happens or that bad thing happens or things don't work out, what if I start getting tons of clients and I'm making all the money I want to be making in my business, and I'm making a huge impact in my clients' lives, and I'm changing people's lives, and they're changing the lives of everyone around them, and I'm making a huge difference in the world, and I'm able to have the freedom that I want in my life. Like all these different things, go down that path instead of the path of what you don't want, and really continue to go down that path, because when you refocus there, then you're like, yeah, like I can face these fears and this doubts. Like it's totally worth it for these things that I really want to create. So once again, like we're just reprogramming the way that our brain always wants to work, which is always kind of going towards like the bad things and worst case scenario. And the reason it's doing that is because it wants us to stay the same. So just refocus. Like we always have, your brain is a tool, right? So we actually can control our brain and our thoughts and our beliefs. And so we just want to be aware of where it's going and refocus and realign like where we want those thoughts to go, which is towards what we want. So it's just a practice and takes awareness. Let me know if that's making sense to you guys and if you have any questions. And then I had one other one I wanted to add. So trust yourself. This is a big one, and I would say it's a practice, right? Like it takes some practice to really learn to trust ourselves. But this goes into, and Debbie, I'm not sure if you're still on, but what you were saying, like I worry that people will be skeptical in my business, right? Like, does it really matter that people are skeptical? It doesn't if you believe in yourself and what you're doing, right? Like, so a lot of us can get really caught up in what other people think, and none of that matters, right? It's just people's opinions. People can think whatever they want, but we have a choice. Either we can live our life according to what we want and what we want to create and what we believe, or we can live our life according to what other people think and what other people believe and what other people want us to do, or whatever, or turning away from any sort of conflict that we might get as far as people not thinking we're doing the right thing or not believing in us. So we really have a choice there, and it really goes back to believing in yourself, believing in your choices, believing in what it is that you have to offer, and not letting other people's thoughts and opinions dictate what you're doing, because everyone's going to have their beliefs and their thoughts and their opinions, and but we don't want to let that run our life. Otherwise, we're living our life to make other people happy, which makes us unhappy. So, and everyone has their own agenda, right? Like we're all living our lives to make ourselves happy or to do what we think is going to make us happy. And so you really want to make that your priority and that your focus, as opposed to trying to please other people. And the thing is too, like, so if you think about this, so when it comes to like other people's opinions, like I think this can be really helpful to know is that if you really believe in yourself and believe in what you're doing and believe in like your mission and your purpose, what other people say isn't going to make any difference to you, because it's going to have no impact because your belief is so strong in yourself and what you're doing. And I like to think of it this way. So I was thinking about this, like if someone came up to you and they're like, oh, you're a failure, or oh, you're fat, or something like that. It wouldn't matter to you if someone said that to you in any way if you didn't believe that at all. If you had no like belief in with that. Like if someone came up to you and they're like, oh, you're fat, like you'd be like, okay, whatever, because you in no way believe that you are fat. But if you have those beliefs within you, that you are a failure, or you were fat or something, and someone said that to you, then it's going to have a much different impact on you, because then you're like, oh yeah, maybe I am, like, oh my gosh. So it really goes into working on our own belief in ourselves and what it is that we have to offer. And it's a practice. But I think the biggest thing that helps us with this is taking action. So our belief really grows through the process of taking action, because we start to see like, oh, I can do it. Oh, I can take action despite these doubts and these fears. I can do it. And so for me, like that has made the biggest difference of everything. And actually, really going through the process of starting my business and facing these fears and these doubts and not letting them stop me and continuing to take action. I started to see like, oh, I can do it. Like I can make this happen. I can create the life I want to. I can have the freedom I want, all those different pieces. Let me know if that's making sense to you guys, and if you have any questions specifically on fears and doubts in your business, or if anywhere this is coming up for you at all. And if it is, let me know, because like I said, I've faced all these things when I was getting started in my business, and I mean, all my clients do too. Like it's perfectly normal for us to face the fears and the doubts. And, I think it goes into having the support that you need moving forward, and to know, like, have a plan. That really helps as far as not getting stuck in these and allowing them to stop you. And then continuing to work on your mindset and your beliefs and your thought patterns, which is a big part of the work that I do with my clients as well, because truly our thoughts and our beliefs can take us out of the game. So when we get these aligned, it really helps us move forward. So it's crazy birds out there. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. If you watch the replay and you have any questions, let me know as well. Everyone who's on, thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to wrap up. And if you find yourself getting stuck in your fears and your doubts, like I said, let me know. You can send me a message. I'd be happy to help you. We could hop on a call and help you kind of see what you can be doing to move forward, both when it comes from the standpoint of what actions to be taking in your business, but also like as far as your mindset and what you can be doing to not allow those fears and doubts to just stop you from moving forward. It makes all the difference. So like I said, if you want help, let me know, send me a message. Otherwise, I hope you guys all have an amazing rest of your Monday. I'm probably going to go do maybe a little unpacking. I still have stuff to unpack behind me. But I will catch all you guys later. Allie, what do you say? The crow spirit animal. Yeah, it's definitely crows. Hold on, I gotta see what you said. Yeah, the crow spirit animal. I like it. I actually saw a crow this morning too, just like sitting on someone's porch, like staring at me. So I might have to do a little research on it. The crows are are with me at the moment. So thanks for that, Allie. I love that. Yeah, the crows are going crazy. It's funny, I haven't really heard them around here, and all of a sudden I start a video and they're like going crazy. So all right, guys, have an amazing rest of your Monday, and I will talk to all you guys soon. Bye.